Well, welcome again to another episode of Fast Break. We are now at episode 6. There we go. Ray Halbrook from live stream STL Media. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day as we get things started here with our esteemed panel again here. Lee Richardson, the professor of coachonomics, and Scott the Freak Lotta, also known as the Hoops Whisperer. And guys, we are we're good. Would you say we're halfway now? We're right around the halfway, or are we a little bit more than halfway through basketball season here, Coach?
Yeah, we're entering the stretch run. I mean, it's February, so this is when districts start for everybody sooner or later, and so you should be over the January blahs by now, and everybody gets those. And even if you're kind of stuck in those, you got to find a way out of them pretty quickly now.
Stuck in them? Is that a reference to the snow?
Oh, sure.
I like it.
Yeah, that has played havoc with schedules and everything too. So
how about that? Well, without further ado, let's get started here. We're going to talk about the Region 16 here, the NJCAA Conference here, Region 16. We're going to start with the ladies here. North Central, 14-7, pretty much in the driver's seat right now at this point, 4 games in front of the Lady Jefferson Vikings there, who are at 10-7, 5-15 for the Metropolitan Wolves, and unfortunately, we are still waiting to see a win out of the St. Louis Community College Archers there, the Lady Archers there. And getting started with all of that, we've seen a few games now at this point. We kind of see who everybody is at this point, but just your thoughts right now, guys, at this point, because they're getting ready to get geared up here for this Region 16 tournament here. So, Coach, your thoughts?
Well, NCMC, ladies side, they are the class of the region. That is pretty obvious. They've beaten Jefferson College once. They do have a rematch coming up right around the corner here in early February. But, it's all about positioning, though, at this point, getting your teams healthy and then getting into that region tournament. And, it was only I think a 16-point game last time. North Central beat Jefferson College women by about 15, 16. And so it's just about a way of, finding a way to just kind of close that gap, shave some points off next time you play them, and also figure some things out. And then when that region matchup hits, hopefully that's what Jefferson College is hoping for, certainly, that you find a way to get over the hump and win that region.
Scotty, your thoughts?
Well, for the ladies, they've got 2 weeks until postseason starts. And I think if you're Jefferson College especially, you look at their top 3 scorers. You got Ty Harvey, Kamaya Pitts, and Sinai Delgado. And all 3 of those, if you look at their scoring averages over the last month or so, they're trending up. So that's a good thing. You score more points. Obviously that kind of gives you a better chance to win. And, they're kind of trending in the same way they were last year. Last year they were 8-2 at home. This year, they're about in that kind of same pace. So, heading into the postseason, anything can happen, just as long as they can stay healthy, I believe.
I want to add a name to that, the freshman India Robinson, who we've been very impressed with in our coverage. And as a freshman now, late in February, you got to, now you're a sophomore. But I think that's the X factor for them.
Mm-hmm.
Those other players are going to give you great contributions. If India Robinson can continue that upward arc, she may be the player that is able to help them get that done.
Guys, do you think that, obviously we're taking a look at those standings again there, North Central kind of on top there. Could the Lady Vikes pull off an upset for during the tournament here? Is that a possibility?
Well, I think anything can happen. We've seen it with, not to jump, genres here, but we saw the men Vikings, pull off a pretty big upset here in the last couple of weeks. So on any given night, I mean, you could have somebody get hot, you could have somebody be cold. It's just a matter of, who shows up that night.
Yep. You remember one of our shows, I think way back episode 2 or 3, we're coming out of Christmas break. We said the women had a favorable setup in January.
Yeah.
Then I think they won. They were like 5-1 in January, maybe 6-1, something like that. So that has played out. They're definitely better than what they were. In North Central, it's going to be a tough nut to crack there. But like he said, anything's possible. You're just looking for some growth in that next matchup with them. And simultaneously, you're also trying to not maybe give away some things you might do to them in the postseason. So, yeah, that game on November 7th, Saturday, will be very interesting to watch.
February 7th.
February 7th.
There you
go. And then we mentioned a couple other teams, Metro and St. Louis. Metro beat St. Louis in our game we covered recently. St. Louis is trying, just kind of stuck in that rut they've been in now for several years. Metro, not a bad little team. I don't see them as a real threat in the region, though.
All right. Let's take a look at the men here real quick. The Region 16. 15-6 there for North Central there. 9-11 for the Archers. And the Metropolitan Wolves there, 9-14. And then Jefferson College down on the bottom there, 6-16. Guys, what do you see right now out of this particular league in this particular region here? You know, how is this going to shape up? I mean, right now you see North Central's kind of in the driver's seat, but could somebody knock them off? The answer is already yes, but, you know, is it going to happen in a tournament? Could it happen in a tournament?
Coach, I'm going to defer to you. My initial thought is just I don't think so, but you know we've seen some growth from St. Louis. We've seen some from the Vikings here over the past couple of weeks, getting a little bit of traction. But I mean, you're still, I think, looking up at them a little bit.
Yeah, the two tests. So Jefferson College men have won some games recently and got off to a really very slow start this year, but very young team. And now I think they're getting really good contributions from the freshmen. Logan Shoppert is their point guard, as a freshman, done a great job. But Roe Bates is really coming on here lately, and they're starting to figure things out. The key will be early February 4th, against St. Louis, who they lost to at home a few weeks ago, a game Livestream STL covered, and really didn't play very well. So again, measuring game to game. Can you get a region win there? And then North Central, who they did beat at home in a huge upset a couple weeks ago, they have that matchup also on February 7th after the women's game. Two big games for Jefferson College, two really big tests that tell them, I think, to your question, where they're at going into region play.
Again, how much do you show?
Yeah, I think you keep it sort of vanilla. I mean, you really want to win the game. You want to build confidence, all those things. I think if you have something tucked away for the postseason, and these guys scout each other a lot. So I think you kind of see if you can just improve on the things you've been working on all season at that point. But when the region tournament comes, it'll be more of the same, seeing the progression, but at the same time, maybe you have a couple of sets or things you've kept tucked away, a change on defense that they won't expect that may get you over the hump. But those games coming up are really big for Jefferson College, I think.
So on the Jefferson College side, who do you see as their maybe X factor going down, and also the same for the Archers?
For Jefferson College, I mentioned Roe Bates. I think Sam Alutu is another really big. He's got great potential that I don't think he's reached his ceiling yet. If he can do that here down the stretch in February, and the big guy in the middle, Griggs, I think is his name. If he can continue getting a little tougher in the post, keep blocking shots, affecting shots, rebounds. For St. Louis, as far as key players go, let me pull them up real quick.
You got Zach Goss leading him about 14 points a game. You got Derek Smith just under 11. Stephen Higgs, if and when he returns from injury, just under 10.
Right.
Mael Taylor, just under 9. And then CJ Lang, who we saw as our player of the game here recently. He's averaging about 8 points a game. I mean, they've got some core players there. The guy I kind of circle a little bit is number 32, Derek Smith.
Yeah, Derek Smith. I mean, what a man he is, right? We called him Derek the Problem Smith on our coverage because he's 6'4", like a chisel 240. He's just really hard to compete against. I think you mentioned CJ Lang, who had an unbelievable game when we were there when they beat Metropolitan Community College. Great player, great potential. His sophomore year, he's going to want to go out with a bang. we were there the day St. Pius star Patrick Flanagan had 16 or 18
Yeah.
points.
Good
And
game.
he hasn't played a lot this
And he played
year.
like 80 or 90 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of action. Then he just really showed out that day. I think Patrick will probably have limited minutes the rest of the way, but you also need a guy to come in and stick a big 3-point shot,
Mhm.
in spots, and he can do that for them. I think the guy you mentioned, Derek Smith, is huge. C.J. Lang, Goss, the tough lefty, the great mid-range shooter. He probably actually is that X factor. If they're going to have to get really good games out of him if they want to win this region.
There you have it. Let's move over to the JCAA small school girls here first as we go into high school here. The St. Vincent Indians, man, Lady Indians there, they are running away with the conference, and it's not going to surprise me if we see them in the state championship here. They're 14-4, 2-0 in the conference. You've got the surprise Crystal City Hornets there at 10-8. Now that record to me is a little indicative of what's really going on there. They play some really good basketball here. So 1-0 in the conference. The Lady Jays there from Jefferson, 7-12, 1-0 in the conference as well. And then the bottom feeders here, unfortunately, the Herculaneum Black Cats 3-14, 0-1 in the conference, and Grandview at 3-15, 0-2 in the conference. And, again, we can't say enough about St. Vincent. I mean, we know that they are just absolutely dominating teams, but could they slip up? Is there a possibility that you see them maybe run into a Crystal City or run into a Jefferson? And we already know that the Jefferson thing unfortunately has already been done, but they got kind of blew out. But the Crystal City game could be an interesting game there, Coach.
Probably not.
Probably not, but hey,
The Rubel sisters are averaging. One of them's averaging like 18, the other one 12 or 13. They're very talented. I think Bree actually scores more points, but I don't know which one. Maybe they're co-MVPs of the conference as well. I don't know which one is better.
So are they like Rublesboro?
Ooh, I like it.
Good one. Good one.
Hildensboro, Rublesboro.
Sort of. Now they have a game at Crystal City coming up this coming week, February 5th. We'll see. For Crystal City, you have nothing to lose. Just put it out there and put your best foot forward, see what you can come up with that day. No, I don't think anybody's going to stop them. I am not, real clear statewide on Class 1 or Class 2. Are they Class 2?
They're Class 2.
Yeah, on the competition statewide, there may be a couple teams out there that could possibly get them. I want to mention back in, January 13th, they went to St. Pius, who is a really good team. My good friend Harrison Brumley, the coach there, we need to have him on, especially before they play Ursuline later in the month. That's going to be a really good game. And it was a close game, and St. Vincent only beat St. Pius by 8. But yeah, as far as what the current construction of the small school conference, St. Pius, we know is not in there anymore. It would be a monumental upset for anybody to get them and deny them a conference championship or district championship going forward.
Scotty,
how do you follow that?
Right.
I mean, right in your coattails right there. Vincent right now, I believe, is not to take anything away from the other programs. They are the class of the small girl school for the JCAA, and then also to your mention of the other teams down. Herculaneum's down, Grandview's down. That's going to take a little bit while for those programs to build back up. But don't sleep on Jefferson. We saw them have a very impressive performance against Herculaneum where they skunked them the first quarter. It was 24-0. So at any given night, they've got some tools.
Yeah, the night after Crystal City takes on St. Vincent at home on February 6th is that rematch with Jefferson. Maybe you're playing for second, but I think that's still a big game for both of those teams. If you're going to make me predict a winner, I'm going to say Crystal City gets it done at home, but I don't disagree with what you said about Jefferson either, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Let's take a look at the boys' side here, small schools. St. Vincent again, they're 13-5, 2-0 in the conference there. It's interesting there with I was getting ready to say the Lady Jays. That's the boys' Jays there. So the Jefferson Blue Jays there, 12-7, still rocking and rolling there, 1-1 in the conference. Then you see the big drop off here. Herky at 6-12, 0-1 in the conference. Grandview 6-9, 1-0 in the conference, and the Crystal City Hornets 1-16, 0-2 in the conference. That's pretty much wrapped up, I think, now because Vincent's already played the Blue Jays and beat them. So I would think that's pretty much wrapped up. Is there any chance that gets changed there, Coach?
No, and a lot of our Blue Jay followers will say that the number 23-7, those numbers might, do they mean anything? And that was like the foul disparity down there. We know you go to their gym, the Indians gym in Perryville. It's normally, you walk in down 10 points. That's the perception, if that's not the reality. And some have said, not me, okay, but some have said My Three Sons is not an old sitcom. It's Bruce's officiating crew when you go play at St. Vincent. I kid.
Kids, Google My Three Sons because you have no idea what he's talking about.
Very, very old sitcom, 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
It might be black and white.
Send angry comments to Ray.
Don't send them to me.
Anyway, I think it's probably over. St. Vincent's is a really good team. I mean, it doesn't take anything away from them. But the Jefferson people felt they got kind of jobbed when they played here recently down there.
Yeah, we may or may not have sent that little stat over to the state about that as well. And
we or Jeff Whitener?
No, we.
Okay.
We as in me. So Jeff kind of pushed it over, but we're still awaiting a response from Misha on that.
You better be patient.
Hold your breath.
Yeah, I mean, they come back in about 6 to 8 months or years, depending on the particular question. So I understand that, but anyway, I kid. Let's move over to
no. We're sticking with the small boys here.
Okay.
Obviously, obviously, you got to give Vincent their flowers.
Hey, my apologies. I haven't given you the due on your take there, so my bad.
I'm just saying, check the power rankings out there. Sometimes they hit the interwebs.
It's okay.
But obviously, Vincent is in the driver's seat. I would expect them to run the table. I mean, I'm going to say that right now. But no slouch. That number 2 position right behind them, Jefferson played them tough, and under different circumstances, there may have been a different outcome. I'm just going to throw that out there. Mm-hmm. But as far as Jefferson, they're not afraid to play anybody. They don't care what class you are. They don't care what your school motto is, your bird, anything. They don't care. They will play you, and they will play you tough. Yeah. They may come out sluggish in the first quarter, but after that, when they hit their groove, look out.
Yeah. Are you trying to say that if things were flip-flopped and they were at Jefferson, it might have been a completely different outcome?
Or just a neutral site?
A lot of people say that. And I mean we endorse the view.
Right.
As a coach, I've taken a team
just the optics
into the gym down there at St. Vincent and have had what I perceived as a rough time of it. Doesn't mean that happens every time or happened that night. I wasn't there and I didn't see the game, but I certainly heard everything came after it. To your comment about Jefferson, what a fine team they are, though, this season.
Sure.
And after seeing some of the results from this Bruce Thomas tournament, we'll talk about later on, their only competition in their district, the Blue Jays don't get the big head. You still got to take care of your earlier round opponents, but they're probably headed for a collision course with Valley Park in that district.
Mm-hmm. That'll be a good one.
I think they Valley Park's got some really good players. You guys saw that for yourself.
We sure did.
I think they beat Valley Park. Like I said, you can't assume anything, Jefferson. I'm just making a prediction. And after that, the path gets really tough in Class 3. I've kind of gone on record about that. But having said that, I think Jefferson is what a fantastic season they're having. And to cap that off with a district championship again would be great for them.
Absolutely.
Who else you got?
Can we move over to the large schools?
You didn't want to talk about
Grandview, Herky, Crystal City.
Grandview, Herky, Crystal
in
City.
that order, and
No, not in that order. Herky,
Grandview, Crystal City.
correct.
as far as quality of.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean,
They all still got to play each other too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but I mean, you're playing for third place in my estimation.
And Herky, Grandview and Crystal City, they're struggling a little bit. Herky is kind of fading a little bit to me here late in the season.
Yeah.
Those January blues and
I don't think
blahs.
they're fading so much. I think they're trying to work in some talent with an eye to the future,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's more what's happening. I don't think they're
Yeah.
getting fatigued. I think they're just trying to see some different looks and see who are we going to be going forward.
Yeah, and they're in a really tough district too in Class 4. So
the coach freak comes out.
Yeah, well,
We haven't seen a coach freak yet.
yeah,
You just gave a very coach's answer there. I like that.
yeah, working in some new rotations and things, and
It kind of permeates over.
and I think one more time, not to belabor this point either, but what a fantastic career Tanner Duncan has had.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And we are going to miss watching him play next year. And having, to the coach's credit, Logan Kelly Wolf, you better start looking at those kids. Well, you're playing for now, but you also are playing for the future. And Tanner won't be there next year.
Yep, that's a big hole. Definitely there. All right, it is time to move over to the large schools here. We'll start with the ladies. Ladies large schools here, 15-2, the Festus Tigers, 4-1 in the conference, 14-3 for the Hillsboro Hawks at 4-0, 8-9 for Windsor there. They're 1-2 in the conference, 7-8 for the Perryville Pirates. They are 1-3, and DeSoto at 7-11, and they are 0-4. And tomorrow night we will probably crown, I would think, a conference champion. Tomorrow night.
Is that the rematch?
It's the rematch at Hillsboro. And I'm sorry, it's at Festus. I'm sorry.
No, it's at Hillsboro.
It's later. It's later in the week.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
That's Wednesday. That's Thursday. So
We'll crown them tomorrow anyway.
yeah, so I'm getting my days mixed up.
Take our best guess right now.
Yeah. Thoughts on that game right now?
Go ahead, Scott.
So the first contest came down. There was a 3-pointer at the buzzer to make it a 1-point loss for the Tigers on their home court. They, clawed and they scratched. They got their way back into that game. And if that game would have had 30 more seconds, who knows what happens? Now you take the pressure of putting the Hawks on their home court against, the defending co-champs. They're co-champs. So is Festus. I could very easily see the same scenario that played out at Festus play out at Hillsboro, where you flip flop and maybe that game's decided by a bucket.
I think if you go to the Festus girls team and you talk to the players, whether it's Madden, Skaggs, Kennedy, Patterson, any of them, and then on up to Coach Portell, I don't think any of them feel like they put their best foot forward in that matchup with Hillsboro. So nothing against Hillsboro, who earned that victory that night very much. I think Festus may come back and with a statement in that game on Thursday. So that's kind of what I'm
bold prediction time
thinking right now. Yeah,
there it is.
And I want to say one more thing. We talked about the MVP race, Player of the Year in large school girls before. We had discussed Madden, Hilton, Kyra Matlock, and who's the other player? For me,
Kennedy?
That's what I was about to say.
Lillian Kennedy.
Junior Lillian Kennedy. She may not win Player of the Year this year, but she is, to me, showing a really big emergence here late in the season.
All right.
You're not going to weigh in? You're not going to make a prediction?
Oh,
Put on your Swami hat?
Well, I don't know if Ray wants to. I mean, let put us.
to me, it's a toss up. I mean,
it really is.
the only good thing that Hillsboro has for themselves right now is they're playing. They get to play at home. So that makes it, to me, I think it makes it double hard for Festus.
But sometimes that extra pressure of being on your home court in front of all of your people, sometimes that kind of weighs on you a little bit.
Sometimes home cooking is where it's at, though. Who knows?
It's an elite coaching matchup. Too,
yeah,
by
true.
the way.
That's true.
And I think then the onus, honestly, is on Coach Hubbard because you got it done last time. But meanwhile, Coach Portell gets to look, and
Yep.
if they feel like they were deficient in this area, that area, this player can do that or add something the next time. It kind of makes it easier, I think, for the team that lost, gives a little extra motivation and adjustments that they can make. But having said that, love watching these two coaches go at each other as well.
It reminds me of, and I hate to use a hockey reference, but, getting the last shift, getting the choice of the last shift, being able to, that to me is kind of a, could be the toss up for one of those coaches. Cause I think that's how they kind of look at it, is like, okay, you beat me on this court, but things could change here. You just never know. I mean,
That's where all the
think both
marbles.
of them are taking a look at it.
Yeah.
Should be a good one there this Thursday. So moving over to the gentlemen here real quick. Our last matchup. The boys' large standings here, 13-5, Festus 5-0. They will wrap things up. They could wrap things up here Friday night. 11-8 for Windsor. They're 3-1. Hillsboro 8-9. They're 2-3 in the conference. Perryville 5-5, and we're double checking and making sure we've got the. I don't think that's
we're
complete
missing data.
Yeah, 1-3 in the conference, so that's the important part there, conference-wise. And DeSoto there, 3-14. They are struggling a little bit this year here, and 0-4 in the large school conference series right now. I mean, there's no way Festus doesn't just take care of business.
Oh, whoa.
I'm telling you, they're not going to take. I said that at the beginning of the season, too. It's Festus's game and it's Festus's conference.
How many S's were there? Festus.
Well, as many as it needs if it causes them to win, right?
All right. So Windsor is only a game behind.
I get that.
In the loss column anyway. And they have a rematch on February 13th.
At Festus.
Okay. And these teams, home and away doesn't matter, I don't think, that much. They're so comfortable playing in each other's gyms. Go reference Hillsboro girls at Festus, that win. I just can't rule it all the way out yet. I think Festus should win that game. Similarly to what we said about the Festus girls, the boys played Bunker this past Friday night. Really good team, class number 1 in Class 1. But they lost at home to them. I think they're probably disappointed with that. They're going to have to play better than that to beat Windsor next time, but that will be for the conference championship, no doubt.
Scotty?
Lee kind of cherry picks all the kind of like the easy, in your face stuff. But what would happen if Hillsboro should get hot? And I'm not saying,
whoa.
Ray's turn.
I'm not saying that they would come up, but I'm saying Hillsboro could still play a part here, where maybe they make co-champions. Where if Windsor wins,
is that even mathematically
no?
possible?
I don't. So. No, it's not. And Hillsboro's lost 5 of their last 6. January's been a tough month for them.
So what you're saying is no.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Whoa! Pump the brakes. That's not going to happen. That's what he's saying.
I'm not saying Hillsboro could get up there. I'm saying that they could just kind of play spoiler here a little bit.
Oh, well, now that is definitely, I think, is a possibility.
They have a game at Festus.
There's still 3 games left in play for Festus.
Brought to you by Livestream STL Friday, February 6th.
Yep.
Big game. I mean, Festus needs, like I said, they need to play better coming down the stretch. And that's a great opportunity to show that. But they already beat Hillsboro at Hillsboro. Windsor has gone 2-0 against Hillsboro so far this year. By the way, I think this is a good time to bring this up. How did Jefferson move ahead of Windsor in our power rankings? I missed how that happened. In the last power rankings we put out,
let me flip
Jefferson was 3rd.
Let me flip to the person responsible for that.
Okay. Oh.
Well, you kind of mentioned that Windsor's been on a little bit of a slide here lately. They've had some.
No, I said Hillsboro was on a slide, not Windsor. Windsor has
but
lost
he's
the game.
saying
Winsor's
on a slide.
Okay, hold on. He's saying it. Well, here you go. Here's your slide for Windsor. Losses to Seckman, Maplewood, Farmington, and Parkway North. By 3 points. Good teams all, and Troy by 10. These are really good teams they're losing to. If Jefferson played those teams, they might lose 4 out of 5 as well.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Early in the season, Windsor beat Jefferson. I know it's not necessarily who they are now. but I think you have to kind of.
I don't always take the head-to-head as gospel
I don't either, but
because you can have a good night, you can have a bad night, and then,
I agree.
like I said, this last stretch between the rankings, Jefferson, I believe, has kind of hit their stride a little bit, and it seems like Windsor, they are playing up to competition, but they haven't got
Really
they
good
haven't
class 5s and 6s.
they
Yes.
haven't got W's out of it, so I'm just kind of just pulling that down
All
a
right.
little bit.
All right, and nothing against Jefferson. Again, to be ranked 4th, which is what I have them at, or 3rd, as you do. I mean, they're having a great year coming out of the small. By the way, we didn't have St. Vincent ranked higher than Jefferson, correct?
Didn't or
In any of our rankings?
oh, I believe we did.
Oh, you do?
Oh, I believe I did.
All right. Well, this is too much to get into probably right now. I would still have Jefferson ahead of St. Vincent.
The professor's getting fired up.
Despite the St. Vincent win over Jefferson down there in Perryville, I would still have Jefferson ranked, say 3 or 4. I think I have Hillsboro still ahead of St. Vincent as well, but I know they're developing.
I had Hillsboro down at 5.
Yeah, I understand that.
There's music playing right now, so that's all I got to say. So we'll let you guys be the judges of all of the rankings here when we bring out the next power ranking here. So there you have it. There you are. We'll be back with our next segment. This is Fast Break.
Meant to do what they do. Devoted, skilled, solving problems before there are problems. Just like the team at Crystal Heating and Cooling. 60 years of teamwork and dedication. To Crystal, you're more than a customer. You're a friend. Top reviews, decades of experience keeping your home safe and comfortable through any weather. And Crystal Care Club with included maintenance and free financing options. For 60 years, Crystal puts their heart into your comfort. Crystal Heating and Cooling.
It is now time for our pick and roll segment here, and we have Coach Dana Hern on the line. Coach Dana Hern, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. Wanted to talk a little bit about the out of nowhere, the Crystal City Lady Hornets playing some really good basketball right now. You guys are 10-8 on the season. I just want to kind of get your take on the season overall, and what are you feeding these kids because it's working?
Well, truly, it's kind of been a roller coaster ride this season. We've played some very good games, gotten very close with teams that I think didn't expect us to play that close with them. Do I think we should have won those games? Absolutely. I think our record should be a little bit different than what it is now. Won a few more games than what we have, but all in all, the girls have really come together this season. It's their second year playing together, so we're developing trust, and the girls are learning what they can and can't do with each other, and I think it's just paying off.
This is your second year here for Crystal City. What has been the difference, and has there been? To me, it sounds to me like there's been a huge buy-in. But what's made this year different from last season?
I think developmentally, our girls, their basketball IQ is better than last year. They've grown over that 1 year, especially over the summer. We had some good turnouts and we went to some shootouts. But all in all, they've really bought into the plays and especially defense. Like, we spend countless hours every week going over just defense. Some weeks we don't even practice offense. It's just defense. And they've really bought into that.
So we have this segment called Pick and Roll, and I have 10 questions right here in my hand, and you're going to pick 3 of these 10 questions. You've never seen the questions, and I'm just going to turn it over to you. Give me a number, 1 through 10.
3.
Number 3. In your coaching journey, how has technology affected game preparation and connection with your players?
Oh gosh, of course I picked that one. I feel like being a player has helped me as a coach. I feel like I'm able to read the floor even better than when I was playing the game. I'm able to see a lot of things. But on the other aspect of it, I think going to Crystal, knowing these girls, the community, it's really helped me bond with them as a coach, on that aspect of it. And so we're able to kind of intertwine the game with, coaching and players, and it just allows us to come together.
Great, great. Give me another question. Another number.
Let's go 6.
Number 6. Practices are simulations for game situations. How do you mentally prepare your team for the added layers of real games, such as officials running around the court, crowd noise, working against taller or quicker opponents, etc.?
So, with practice, like I was kind of saying earlier, we spend a great deal of time on defense. My main goal coming into this season was we're going to be a defensive team. We're small. We're going to have a hard time in the post, so we have to focus on defense. So we have spent weeks and weeks teaching the girls, you're going to have to realize you're not going to get every single foul call if you don't do it the right way so that the refs know that you have good basketball IQ. So we're trying to teach the girls, how to show the refs that they do have that basketball IQ. And then as well as I myself jump in because I'm taller than all of my girls on the court. So I will jump in as the opposing team's tallest girl, and I'll challenge the girls to try and beat me, which I think they have a fun time with.
Good. Very good. Very good. Last question. Give me a number.
Let's go 10.
Number 10. Okay. For many coaches, a team's leaders are the more tenured players, such as juniors and seniors. In your eyes, how can the younger players ascend into those leadership roles?
That is actually something that we are struggling with. We don't have just one strong leader on our team. The girls do a good job of coming together in tight situations, but we're still trying to find that one girl that goes above the rest and kind of brings everybody along with them. I do feel like that is developing in Addison Bova, my sophomore. I think she is starting to see that all the girls kind of follow behind her, and look to her in those tight situations. And she likes to be in those moments and have the ball in her hand when we're down by 3 with 30 seconds on the clock. So really to answer that, I think Addison will be that leader. She just has a few more steps to get there.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, we appreciate the time and good luck to you along the way here, and looking for a successful ending here for the Crystal City Hornets.
Me too. Me too. I hope it goes
Excellent.
well.
Excellent. Excellent. Coach Dana Hern from the Crystal City Hornets. Time now for another pick and roll segment here, and we have on the line Coach Steve Eisenbeis from the Crystal City Hornets. Coach, how you doing, sir?
Good. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. How you doing? I just wanted to maybe catch up with you here a little bit on the Crystal City Hornets season here, 1-8, I believe, right now at this point, and just your thoughts of the season, and maybe even you just got finished with the Park Hills tournament too. Your thoughts on that as well?
Yeah. It's the coaching cliche. Our record is not indicative of one, the efforts the guys are putting in, and two, the skill level that we have. We are, bottom line is we're a young team. We've only got one senior. He's never played high school basketball before this year. We have two freshmen and a sophomore who are in the solid rotation. So it's a learning curve, and we haven't really been that far off. Sometimes it looks like it, but there's been games where we've been down. We spotted them a 20-2 lead, and then we've come back and made it a 2-possession game in the fourth quarter. There have been games where we've been leading, in the fourth quarter and kind of let it slip away, turn into a double-digit loss. So it's, and I tell the guys, and they believe me. I do believe they believe me. We're not that far off, from getting to where we need to be. As far as the Park Hills tournament, it was fun. It's always fun to be in that. It's a great atmosphere, good teams. With our record, we drew the 16 seed. So we got number 1 seed Potosi right off the bat, which was tough. But again, I was happy with the way our guys battled. And then in the next round, we had Arcadia Valley, who was another tough team. We won the first quarter against them. We're down 5-6, something like that at the half. Again, just kind of a little bit got away from us. That's kind of been the what's happened with us this year. Just the consistency. We let stuff snowball a little bit on us. We don't hang our heads. We just, once one or two things goes bad, it seems like we want to pick up the pace, and that doesn't really that doesn't translate well for us sometimes. So,
gotcha. That's why you have the second half of the season here to build upon, right?
Exactly, and that's what I tell the kids all the time. Districts is when you want to be peaking. And like I said, we've got a lot to learn, especially with the young kids. They've got a lot to learn about the speed of varsity basketball. Some of them are jumping straight from 8th grade up to varsity basketball games.
Right.
They're jumping from, playing against fellow 14-year-olds to playing against 18-year-old men. So it's a learning curve for us. And I see the development coming. It's going to be there. I'm not, everybody wants to win. And you worry about losing players when you're not, losing their interest and their effort level. But I haven't seen that yet. So that's one of the best signs so far.
Excellent. Let's get into this pick and roll segment here. This is where you get to pick one of 10 questions here. You just give me the number here. You don't know what the question is, and they're all coaches related, so I'm sure it'll be right up your alley here. So give me some numbers.
Obviously, lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7. Let's start it here.
Yeah.
In defeat, coaches can find positive elements. Conversely, in victories, there can be elements to tweak or to improve. How do you strike the balance of when to encourage and when to challenge your players?
You've got to look at the game as a whole, and you got to look at the opponent. And I tell the kids that all the time. There's, going into, like I said, going into play number 1 seed Potosi, there's no shame in losing to the number 1 seed. Okay. Especially when if you put up a good fight. Okay. And then there's some teams you play against where there isn't a moral victory. You were supposed to win that game. You should have won that game. You had the opportunity to win that game. So you've got to, you've got to let them enjoy the highs and the wins. And you got to, especially with the young kids, you got to try to temper the losses a little bit, but at the same time, you can't baby them. You got to be realistic with them. So it comes down to a lot of times, what was the actual result in the game that just happened? Should we have won that game? Then we need to focus on that. If it was a game we weren't even supposed to win, but we put up a good fight, sometimes there are moral victories and sometimes there aren't. So you got to understand the opponent, understand your guys, kind of read the room.
Good answer. Give me another question.
Number 3, obviously.
3. In your coaching journey, how has technology affected game preparation and connection with your players?
Things like Huddle are an absolute game changer. You don't have to go sit in the gym. You don't got to drive all over the place to find another team. You don't have to, you got to send out a simple request, but you don't have any phone calls and emails. You click a button and you get a request for a film. And even if you don't get an answer from somebody, you can go on, because Huddle sends everything to Misha TV. You can go on Misha TV and watch almost every game you need to. So technology has made preparation easier than it's ever been. At the same time, it can, especially with the kids, it can almost be overkill. They want to go out and watch every single game that the other team has played. And sometimes you just got to focus on us guys. Excellent.
Last question. Go ahead.
Go 5.
Go number 5. Okay. Practices are simulations for game situations. How do you mentally prepare your team for the added layers of real games, such as officials running around the court, crowd noise, working against taller or quicker opponents, etc.? That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. One of the things, and it drives the kids mad, is, when we do get up and down the court and we scrimmage, we do a lot of, especially with the young kids, we're doing a lot of fundamentals and a lot of skill development that we see wrap itself into game day. But when we do get up and down the court, I will miss calls or things like that, and they'll get so mad about it. And ask them if they've ever been in a perfectly officiated game. And of course,
Right.
none of them ever have. And I told them that's something you're just going to have to live with. You're going to have to learn how to, that's one of the things we have worked on. We don't run our mouths. We don't argue with the refs. It's something that we're trying to make a point of emphasis. So that's definitely one of them. And then when it comes to the physicality of it, the simple old school stuff of getting out the football pads and just kind of smacking them when they go up for rebounds, go up for shots, try to finish at the basket, just simulate contact, learn how to fight through it, not be surprised when the game time comes.
Excellent. Good answer there. These are some tough questions here. Scotty Lotta puts these questions for us. So kudos to Scotty for the tough ones. But, man, we appreciate the time. And I know we'll be catching up with you here throughout the season, and we'll see you down the road here.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
Coach Steve Eisenbeis from the Crystal City Hornets. We're back with our pick and roll segment here, and we have on the line here with us here, Coach, that is Jeremy Moss from the Grandview Eagles there. Coach, how you doing, sir?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. 4-6 on the season so far. We wanted to kind of catch up with you here a little bit and talk a little Grandview Eagles boys basketball. Your thoughts so far, where you're at right now in the season?
I like where we're at. We've been playing pretty well. I would say 3 or 4 of our last 5 games, I would say. With the exception being like our first game back from Christmas break, we kind of laid an egg our first game at the Bourbon tournament, but we bounced back. We beat Bourbon the other night. We play New Haven tomorrow. We've had some really good games this year. Had a couple close losses that we could have had. A close one at Brentwood that we just squandered, not shooting well that night, and then a game here at home against Kingston that we lost 56-52. It was back and forth the entire game. So we've had some close losses and some good wins, and I like how our team's been playing lately.
Okay, excellent. Looking forward to catching up with you guys here, seeing a couple games as well down the road here. This is our pick and roll time, and you get to pick one of 10 questions that I have on this sheet right here.
Okay.
And wanted to see you just pick. It's random. He doesn't know the questions here, folks. So this ought to be good. So give me a number.
Picking a random number here. Let's go with 3.
3. In your coaching journey, how has technology affected game preparation and connection with your players?
Oh man. Well, it's definitely different. I know when I was a player, I graduated in 2012. We did not have huddle. All of our games were like on DVDs, and it was totally different. Now all the players have access to every game. Like it's on there within an hour after your game. So yeah, you take advantage of it. You have them watch. You can clip things and make certain highlight reels or just clip things that you want, whether you want to look at defensive clips or inbounds clips or whatever it is that you want to focus on. And yeah, it's pretty useful, and you can actually see how much the kids are watching. So yeah, it just gets more and more intuitive, or it gets just like more advanced every single year where they're updating and you can do more with it. So yeah, gotta keep learning and take advantage of it when you can.
Excellent. Give me another number.
7.
Number 7 here. For many coaches, a team's leaders are the more tenured players, as in the juniors or seniors. In your eyes, how can a younger player ascend into those leadership roles?
Oh, good question. First off, I agree with the upperclassmen thing. I'm fortunate this year we have a team of upperclassmen, a lot of juniors and seniors, but we do mix in 2 sophomores get some playing time. And I do think, I've had teams where, this current group, actually, a lot of the seniors I have had to step up as sophomores. One player in particular, Brendan Martin, he's been dressing varsity since he was a freshman. Right. And I would say he kind of ascended into that leadership role in his sophomore year and definitely in his junior year, to where, it is important that young players take that role. And I think you just help them grow into it. It's important that you actually, you have upperclassmen that believe in them, and also kind of help them take that role. but yeah, no, it can be big time for them and for the program, because when you find a natural leader as a sophomore, you get 3 years to keep using that guy and their abilities like that. So yeah, it's definitely beneficial to have.
Definitely make an impact role.
Yep, for sure.
Another question here.
Last one. Let's see. 4.
Number 4. Okay. Along the way, who first put the notion of coaching in your thoughts, or did it spring from you observing a mentor in some sort of role?
I think there's been a lot of factors that have gone into me being a coach. A lot of people have impacted me. I would say that my coaches, well, just my own personality, really, I'm very competitive. But then, I played for Tony Kinder and then Jason Therrell when I was in high school, and that was part of it. I think when my career ended, I just wanted to think of like, man, how can I keep competing even though I might not play, anymore. And I was like, man, coaching is definitely the way to go. You still have a huge impact, and you get to develop kids and help them become, young men. So they had an impact, and I was like, how can I do that? What can I do to be a coach? And Eric Allen from Festus, he was their AD for a while. He was my PE teacher. So I was like, I think I'm going to be a PE teacher and try to coach basketball. My dad, I would say there's been a lot of people that have impacted that decision for me. Because I went through a semester of college without knowing what I was going to do. I thought I might be a broadcaster and call the games, but I ended up shifting gears and went for the coaching side of things at the end of it.
Excellent. I never knew any of that. That's some good information there. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. So
yeah, no problem.
We appreciate the time, and good luck to you. And I'm sure we'll see you down here on the road.
Appreciate you having me. Yeah. Looking forward. Hopefully we see you guys. We've been playing pretty well. I like the team we've got this year. Like I said, a lot of upperclassmen. So it feels like this is a year we can be competitive with a lot of teams, and I like where we're going. So appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks so much again, Coach Jeremy Moss from the Grandview Eagles. It's time to ask the professor right now, and Scotty the Freak Lotta has today's question for the professor of Coachonomics.
I ask of you, I implore you. Anyway, thank you for tuning into this segment. We're here with the professor of Coachonomics, Lee Richardson. Coach, hola.
Hola.
So, as a coach, sometimes it becomes necessary to enact some sort of discipline with a player. Over the course of your career, did you have to discipline a team leader or a key contributor due to mitigating circumstances? If so, how did you weigh the severity and perceived optics of those to the outside of your team?
Wow, that's a great question. And it's one you kind of have to tap dance around landmines sometimes when things go down. I don't know. I think, say you have one situation I can think of. One of the players got a ticket from conservation. I guess they were spotlighting deer or something. This is way back when in Reynolds County, Missouri. Anyway, because it wasn't adjudicated and he hadn't paid the fine or whatever, the penalty was going to be, by mission of the rules, he could not play until that was taken care of. And then another time, one of my players, and I won't say where, but they were caught vaping or I don't know what it was, selling a vape or something really weird and dumb on their part. And they had to miss 2 weeks of practice, was the suspension that was handed down, and couldn't practice, which meant they couldn't start the season. They didn't have the required number of practices. In those cases, I think it's taken out of your hands in a lot of ways. The punishment they've already received, from the school or the governing body or whoever, the authorities. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. What am I going to do to pile on top of that? Having said that, now you go to another thing where it's something maybe more internal with your rules as a coach. I only had 3 rules as a coach. Listen, work hard, be a great teammate. I think that covers a lot of things. And, yeah, it's left up to my judgment how to interpret that you did this and I don't think you're being a great teammate or you weren't working hard or what have you. But with a key contributor or best player, obviously you said optics. You got to be very careful with avoiding the appearance of that you're taking it easy on this player because they average 15 points a game for you. It's that old joke, you got so mad at Johnny that you suspended Billy for 2 games, and they were at the same party, drinking or whatever they shouldn't have been doing. You have to explain to your best players ahead of time, your leaders is how I would put it. You have to set the example, and if you don't, I have to come down on you. I wouldn't say harder necessarily, but in a way, yeah, because they know if they want that mantle on their shoulders, and I don't think you're doing the kid, the team, anybody, the community, anybody any good if you take it easy on those kids.
So in that scenario where you're talking about there's some sort of internal rule or, something that you're having to address, how are you like, okay, I'm going to sit you for a quarter? Is it something where you're like, I'm going to give you an extra, 15 laps after the game? Is it, how are you doling that out to where it comes across that, yes, this is a punishment, but you're also like, I also don't want to completely, submarine the team?
Well, hopefully you have enough, confidence from your administration and the community at large. This is a rare thing to get sometimes. That I'm not necessarily going to explain to you what I even did to discipline the kid. Sometimes you just let the kid. Well, I'm going to restrict your minutes. I don't know when I feel like you've earned my trust back. And you just sit them. You don't say, hey, I'm going to not play you the first quarter. You just don't play them that first quarter. I mean, it's up to you. It's at your discretion.
I was kind of thinking about like Varsity Blues and some of the things that go on in there, and they're kind of like, my kid's too much for you. No, they're just kids.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, you have to ignore a lot of that. The bottom line is you've been put in that position for a reason. And, again, it's hard. It's hard to get that rope from people sometimes. But you definitely have to, stick to what you value as a coach and what you value for your team. And I don't know. I think these days probably coaches sometimes feel the pressure to just, slide under the rug kind of. I don't know. I never wanted to do that because I don't think it does the kid or the team any good in the long run. Even if it costs us a game or two. And by the way, the Mr. Deere spotlighter, that did cost us that game. The other kids played, but he was our leading scorer. And the kids tried really hard and kept it close. But without, with him, we probably win. And by the way, there are those situations where there are charges, but they're kind of ignored or people just kind of find their way around the rules a little bit. You can report that to Misha, and we'll see if they enforce things on their end. That's all I have to say about that.
Thanks, Forrest.
This has been the Professor of Coachonomics. Ask the Professor.
And now, tales from the coaching dark side.
Hello, and welcome to Tales from the Coaching Dark Side. All right, hey guys, do you know why basketball players don't like vacations? They're afraid to travel. Oh, well, that's not true. It's just a really funny joke. Anyway, let us travel to the darkest corner of the coaching dark side, where a local coach found himself last March, matter of fact, when he got a fateful phone call that might have gone something like this. Hey, honey, yeah, we just won the quarterfinal. We're going to the Final Four in Columbia. Oh, hey, babe, one of my players' parents is calling. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Love you, Snooky. Aww. Yeah, you got to use those playful little love terms, when you're married. But anyway, so you click on the other call. Hello? Yeah, Mike, man, we did it, man. Hey, Johnny had an awesome game tonight. What's up? Yeah, thank you. We couldn't do it without great parent support and your son. 25 points, and now we're going to just the third Final Four in school history. What are you guys doing to celebrate tonight? Yeah. Well, what's the problem? You going where next week? Yeah, I know it's spring break. Can you change the reservations? Yeah, Mike, this is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Yeah, I get it, but wait, what? You're taking Johnny to Cancun next week while we're at the Final Four, and you're taking his best friend Timmy, our leading rebounder, is going with you? Mike, boy, I don't understand. This is what. Wait, what? Jimmy, our best defender, is also going? Hey, I got to ask you, why did you schedule this trip, for the week of the state tournament? Oh, because it's our school spring break week and you didn't think we'd make it that far. All right. Oh. Well, yeah, Mike, I understand. Well, hey, as one of our school's wealthiest parents, let me say thank you again for your support. You guys have fun. I appreciate your wishes of luck. We're just playing the best teams from St. Louis and Springfield. We'll do our best. Yeah, bye. So, yes, that happens. Also at Christmas. Christmas too, yeah. So, coaches, be careful about scheduling a Christmas tournament or advancing to the Final Four, or you might also fall prey to this tale from the coaching dark side.
This has been Tales of the Coaching Dark Side. It is now time for our favorite segment here, the Hoops Whisperer. And we have none other than the Hoops Whisperer himself, Scotty the Freak Lotta. Take it away, Scotty.
I don't know. He's kind of carrying his left a little low. Anyway, we are now about a half dozen episodes into Season 4 of Fast Break. Woo-hoo! Yep. I think it's time to take a little moment here and make this segment a little interactive with our peoples.
Ooh.
So
let's go.
Like it. Here we go.
Over the first 5 episodes of this season, I have offered the viewers these 5 suggestions. Number 1, boxing / NASCAR headgear for basketball players. 2, the 5 Ds of basketball. 3, free throw walk-up music. 4, basketball metrics, a.k.a. shooter's launch angle. Swish. And, of course, number 5, the basketball version of the turkey and bowling, the condor variations.
Condor. Oh, my Lord.
So Ray will post this up, and everyone could chime in. Let us know what is your favorite. And coming up in the next episode, we will have more new suggestions.
3. Free throw walk-up music.
I still like number 1.
I'm kind of partial to the 5 Ds.
I like number 1. So we may end up putting this. This would be a really neat Twitter poll to see who's watching and if they're really paying attention, especially to that segment, because that segment's pretty cool. But we may throw that up there. What's your favorite Hoops Whisperer segment this season? If you're on Facebook or YouTube right now or X right now, let us know. Give us a little bit of a little bit of feedback here. We'd appreciate that. 3, 4, I like it. And there you go. That is the Hoops Whisperer right here on Livestream STL.
This episode is brought to you by Livestream STL. Livestream STL covers Jefferson County and the South St. Louis area. For sponsorship opportunities for any of these events, call 314-852-4398. Sponsorships can be for a single game, complete season, or a custom package. Help spotlight the young athletes of our area and score a layup for your business with new potential customers.
Thanks for watching today's broadcast. Any unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written consent of Livestream STL is strictly prohibited.